Yeah, I was doing a search for your name too, and it brought up so many search results. I wasn't sure if you actually created a channel under your name or if you used uh, like a description or some other.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. All right. I'm going to do some additional promo and stuff, but welcome to Wise Guys Entertainment. This is your host Wyman. We have an amazing and special guest, a very, very special guest, Graham Nolan, industry veteran. Welcome to the show. I thank you so very much for being here.
Well, thank you. Good to be here. Definitely.
Can you please, let's see here. Well, how's your day today?
Well, it's just so far so good. It ain't over yet, so you never know what'll happen.
I gotcha. Yeah. Let's see here. How come? So, I don't want to dox you or anything, but what time zone are you in, roughly?
I'm in Eastern time zone.
Okay, so am I. All right. So it's 4:07 right now, and I
hear birds chirping. It must be a nice day.
Yeah, it actually is. It's kind of muggy for my taste, but you know, I can't really complain. I prefer it to snow.
Really?
I mean, I like the look of snow, and as it's falling, and the whole making snowmen and throwing snowballs, going sledding. But then reality kicks in, and before you know it, you're shoveling slush. You're trying to dig your car out of the snow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it's fun to vacation in, but to live in it, it sucks.
Yeah, the once pristine, pure white innocence of snow turns into the mess of a nightmare of sludge and ice that you have to dig your car out before you can get to work.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm in just outside of Buffalo, so we get a ton of snow.
I bet. Are you getting or do you usually get the snow that you see in a lot of YouTube videos and photos where it's like 12 feet up?
Well, that would be a blizzard. I mean, if it got that, the blizzard of '77, there was snow drifts that were 30 feet high. And in '85, it was like that. We had one in November, like 4 or 5 years ago, where we had snow up to the height of my 7-foot fence. Whoa. I was up on my roof shoveling the snow because I was afraid it was going to collapse it.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but that's not often. I mean, we hardly had any snow. The lake never even froze this year.
Yeah, the last 2 or 3 times, the very first year I moved out here, which was about 6 years ago, there was,
yeah, this is Gary.
Welcome, Pop Culture Minefield. I'm on the wrong screen. How's it going, man? Good to have you. Welcome. Yeah, so I moved out here to Ohio from California about 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was, I guess it was like the worst or the heavier snowstorm they've had in quite a number of years. And so that was kind of rough. And then just getting used to it.
Uh-huh.
Then every year since, it seems like it's gotten lighter and lighter and lighter. And, we might get a small case of snow, and then after that small case of snow, then you'll just get, what is it? Oh, I forgot to do a banner. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, shoot. I got to do it this way. I'm still doing promotion as we speak. Yeah, so every year since then, it seems like it's been really light. So you'll get this snow, and everyone on radio and TV will freak out and go, "Oh no, we're gonna have this huge major snowstorm," and then it ends up being really light. You might get 2 to 3 inches at most, and then because the weather continues to remain cool, the snow stays on the grass instead of melting away immediately.
Right.
So it's just one of those things. So what kind of weather do you prefer?
Summer. I'm a Florida boy, so I like it hot. I like it wet. Not wet. I mean, I like to be by the beach, and that's my favorite. I like the fall, and I'm okay with winter, but it's way too long. You know, we just go. I'm ready after Thanksgiving to January 1st. January 1st, I'm ready to head south. Come back in May for bass fishing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, so you're into fishing too. What kind of fishing do you do? Like off the pier, wearing the boots, or deep sea?
Well, up here, I start in May for in the creeks when the bass are nesting, and then by June, to mid June, they've moved out to the lake, to Lake Erie. So then I go out to different points on the lake and fish out there. I don't have a boat anymore, so I can't get out on the lake because once it gets hot, the fish start heading to deeper, colder water. So it starts to dry up, but and then you got to go to pond fishing, which I can't stand. So I'm done. Little Sonny's taking your bait and just a pain in the ass.
Oh man. So was it for that reason, the migration and the temperatures of the water and it driving fish away, that caused you to decide to sell your boat?
No. I sold it years ago because my kids were young at the time, and I just wasn't getting the use out of it because they'd get scared when it would start to swell up in the water and stuff like that. So I just ended up selling it. But they're all grown up now; they're all adults. So I'm due to get a new boat. So that's why I need to hit another perk level, a buy Graham a boat perk level.
Exactly. Darn straight. Yeah. So, would you mind sharing with the audience what is your origin story? How did you get to where you are? How did you even get into comics in the first place?
Well, I started out watching, the original Batman TV show as a young kid, the Spider-Man cartoon and the Adventures of Superman with George Reeves. Was probably my first exposure to superheroes, but I really came into comics in a roundabout way because I was a monster kid. What I really loved was like monster movies. I fell in love with those when my mom let me watch Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman when I was like 6 or 8 years old, and it just lit me up but scared the piss out of me. So, but I read these monster magazines, and in the monster magazines, they always had articles about what was going on in the comic book world too. So I would see advertisements and books and stuff like that, and so that's where I first started seeing comic books. And then in the 6th grade, my teacher brought in a stack of comics for the kids to read during their recess. And I just gravitated towards them, started reading them, and I was like, wow, this is really great. And I was already drawing, so I would start copying them. And it was right then and there, at 12 years old, I knew what I wanted to do.
Sorry, I'm trying to stuff my face. Did you do those kinds of drawings like when I was in school and I took art class, or they just needed to give us something to do? They tell us to grab like a comic strip or some sort of image, and then draw a grid on it, and then draw a similar grid on a piece of paper like 8.5 by 11,
Mm-hmm.
and then use that as a guide to draw each section at a time.
Mm-hmm. That's a poor way to learn to draw. It's a great way to learn how to transfer images. I mean, that's how they used to blow up paintings. The masters would blow them up with grids and stuff like that. But it doesn't teach you really how to draw.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point. So it was basically from that made you decide at that point then and there that you want to go into comics.
Yes. Yep. I took art courses throughout school. I took AP art courses in high school, and then I found out about the Joe Kubert School, and I applied there and got accepted.
Oh.
I went 1 year, ran out of money, came back home, went to community college for a year, saved up, went back, ran out of money again. And at that point, my skill level was enough to get me entry-level positions, like working at ad agencies and stuff like that. And I had sold a couple classroom assignments to DC Comics because my teacher was the new talent coordinator at DC, Sal Amendola. So he bought 2 of my classroom projects to run in his book, New Talent Showcase, and so that's how I got my start. It was my first professional sale. So that was like 1983.
Wow. Was that art school like comparatively priced to the same money you'd pay at a regular university?
No, it was less expensive than that.
Gotcha. And was it one of those things when your instructor was buying those pieces off of you where there was actually a little bit of banter where they asked you how much you liked for it, or did they just say, here's a price if you're interested in selling it to me?
Well, it's not like you're selling, a piece of art. They're buying a story from you, and they have rates. So it was a beginner's rate. I want to say it was like $45 a page, something like that for, the pencils, the inks. I wrote it too. So yeah, it wasn't a lot of money, but to me, $45 a page was a lot of money. And it got my foot in the door, so it was great. But Sal was a great mentor to me too, because he'd bring me up to the offices. I'd go up on Thursdays. I'd drive in or bus in or train into the city, and I'd go up to the offices and then see him, talk to him for a little bit, and then I could wander the hallways and introduce myself to other editors, and then on Thursday evenings, a bunch of editors and stuff would all go out for drinks. So I would tag along with Sal. And so I got to hang out with, Dick Giordano and Gray Morrow and Ernie Colon and a whole slew of, older, more seasoned editors and illustrators and writers and stuff like that.
Whoa. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun. I kept my mouth shut and listened to the stories, and there was some great cautionary tales there that I was listening to, because these guys, some of those guys are at the time were in their like early 50s, and they were lamenting the business and stuff, and so I tried to pay attention to what they were saying.
That's smart. Yeah, it's good when you're a beginner to soak in everything you can like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
Learn from others' mistakes whenever possible, for sure.
Yeah, and learn from experience. These guys had been in the business. Gray Morrow worked for EC Comics, for God's sake. He'd been around for a long time, and Dick Giordano. And at the time, Gray was having a hard time getting work. And the irony of it is, his sort of photographic realism. He was being told to push the drawings more and be more dynamic. and yet by today's standards, he'd have been a superstar because of his photo reference, style of artwork.
Who would you consider your biggest influences to your work?
Well, there's early influences, and then there's the influences that you absorb and get later on, as you expand your world. The first artist I ever recognized was John Romita. He was the art director, and he was doing lots of covers for Marvel, and and particularly Spider-Man. So I could recognize his style immediately. So he was a big influence. Kurt Swan was a big influence early on. John Buscema, and then Gil Kane too, Jack Kirby, and then I started to look at who inspired those guys. So then that led me to some of the strip artists like Frank Robbins and Milton Caniff, and my favorite Roy Crane. Who is a big influence on my work.
Now, in addition to being an artist, would you consider yourself a storyteller, a letterer, inker?
Well, I'm not a letterer, that's for sure. I've always considered myself a writer that draws, not an artist that writes. Because I always thought of story first. I was involved in a lot of stories, even when I was just hired as a writer or as an artist. Developing stuff, because that's always been my sensibility. I think like a writer, but I broke in as an artist.
Do you have any movies or TV series that have contributed to your storytelling? Or maybe directors?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many influences in storytelling, visual storytelling, prose storytelling. Guys like Elmore Leonard. I really love his work. Ernest Hemingway. As far as prose writers go, visual storytellers. John Ford. Michael Curtiz. There's a whole panoply of directors from that old school that I love. And television series, there's a lot of really great writing that I enjoyed because of, particularly in the 60s, the people that wrote this first season of Star Trek, I thought were fantastic. Combat, another great show that was very, very inspiring to me.
I actually don't even remember Combat. Was it like a war-based kind of series?
Yeah, it followed a squad of guys that landed at D-Day, and then it followed them, throughout the war. It was on for like 7 years, something like that. In the 1960s, Vic Morrow was in it. It's a great, great show. It's hard to find anymore.
Do you think anyone like any of the studios ever transferred it to like DVD?
Oh yeah, it's on DVD.
Oh, okay, all right.
You can buy the whole season on DVD, but I don't know any stations that broadcast it anymore.
Oh, right.
But you can. It hasn't been on Blu-ray though. It's not on Blu-ray yet, but it is on DVD.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd imagine that it would be on some station because TV providers are always touting how they have thousands of channels. So you figure somewhere in the 1,000, there's got to be one that has combat on it. Do you get much time with your schedule these days to to actually sit down and watch a movie or catch
a lot of times I watch movies when I'm working. I'll put them on in the background. So I have to choose my movies carefully, because if there's a lot of silence and subtlety of of visuals, I find myself looking up all the time, and that takes it away. So watching a lot of old movies is great because they're very dialogue heavy, and so I can watch them, I can listen to them, and I can hear and figure out what's going on.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that would be my problem. If I had a movie on and it's something like, particularly a movie I really enjoy, but it's reliant on lots of visuals, then I'll end up watching the movie. Rancid Potato, welcome. Rancid says,
Rancid Potato.
Does Graham Nolan?
That's my next comic, by the way.
You're the star of his next comic. Do you see your stories as comics in your head, or do you develop them as you write?
I tend to see the big picture first, and then all the heavy lifting is done in the development of the story. Like with the Chenoo, a monster comes off the lake during these, once in 500-year storms to feed. Okay, that's a broad umbrella. That's a concept, and that's how it starts. And then from there, I have to work the characters, I have to work the settings, I have to work the, the interplay and develop the storyline. But it usually comes to me as a big idea, a big umbrella idea first, and then you figure out how am I going to get there.
In the writing process, do you literally just hunker down and commit to writing as much as you can in a block of time? As long as the ideas keep flowing, just keep at it until the piece is done, or do you dedicate a chunk of time every day to a given story?
Well, I'm lucky in that I can draw my own stories. So what I'll do is I'll develop the plot, basically. It's sort of like the old Marvel style way of working, except that you don't have two entities fighting each other on it. I come up with the plot, and then I break that plot down visually, and then I write the dialogue in afterwards. And then the dialogue part is very fluid. I'll just Greek in basically what I want the intent of that person to say, and then I'll come back and I'll rework the dialogue to turn a phrase or make it more interesting. But I just get it down while it's in my head. Like, okay, I need this guy to show he's an asshole, and so I'll have him just blurt something out. But then I might want to have that more nuanced, and I'll go back and refine that afterwards.
But it sounds pretty fluid. So you're not you don't commit to some rigid schedule where, all right, so I got to have this story completed by this time. Now I write a script adaptation to.
I only have to do that if I'm working with another artist. Like I have a project over at Aftershock where I'm working with an artist, and so that's a full script. I've got it's a 5-issue series, so I'm writing it. Page 1, panel 1, all the descriptions, all the dialogue. The only fluidity there is that once all the artwork is done, then I get the artwork to me, and I go over it with the script, and then I create the letterer's script. So I'll change anything if the artist didn't capture something right, or he came up with something cooler than what I had described, and it might need a little help in the dialogue or a caption box or something like that to move the clarity along with the story. So I'll just go back and I'll check the script against the artwork and change it as needed, and then send the final script off to the letterer.
Huh. Have you found yourself in situations where, in that kind of arrangement, you felt that the dialogue in the script was good the way you had it, and then you've gone back to the artist and said, can you adjust a couple of images here and there to make it flow?
Yeah, there was a time where the emotion on the character's face didn't convey what the dialogue was saying, so I had an artist, change it into what it needed to be, because the dialogue was important. There was a setup and a gag to it, and his expression helped sell the gag. So if the expression was wrong, the gag falls flat. So I needed to get that changed. Sometimes, I'm not going to bother him, because as an artist, I don't like to make changes if they're sort of superfluous or if it doesn't make much of a difference.
Right.
Sometimes I'll just adjust the dialogue for it,
Cool. Do you have a preference whether, so do you find yourself sometimes writing the script and then going, hey, I feel like drawing. So then you switch to starting to draw out the story, and then you jump back to writing the script, then jump back to the drawing?
No, that way lies madness for me. There's too much can go wrong if you do that. It's important to lock down the story first. Particularly, maybe not lock it down, but certainly block it in. So that you've got, your beginning, your middle, and end. You've got a lot of that stuff figured out already. Because I'm working as a plot on it, then I can make any adjustments in the artwork as I go along if ideas hit me. It's like, oh, I didn't even think of this at that point. And that's the part I like, is the fluidity of it when you're the sole creator. Like a lot of times you might be stuck on something, or you have an idea that'll get you from point A to point B, but it's not very clever. It's just sort of very oblique. It's like, okay, all right, I got him from point A to point B. But then I figure out a cooler way to do that. And that's the fun part. It's like, oh, okay, now I'm going to go back and change this so that now it's really cool. It doesn't look just so, rigidly, I got this guy marching here to here in the story.
Right. What is your medium? Do you do traditional or digital?
I started drawing digital on my last project when I did The Expendables Go to Hell with Richard Meyer and Chuck and Sylvester Stallone. Because it was so reference heavy, that book, I didn't figure there's any way I was going to get the thing done on time if I did it traditionally. So I threw caution to the wind, and I said, I'm going to try it digitally, and it worked out great. And so now the Chenoo is done completely digital as well.
Was there much of a learning curve to go digital if you've been raised on traditional?
There was. The program I use is called Procreate.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And I started doing digital stuff a couple of years ago on my humor strip. I have a humor strip called Sunshine State, and that's a lot simpler. So I felt more comfortable doing that as opposed to the more detail-oriented stuff and demands of a comic book page. So that kind of got my feet wet, and I got more comfortable utilizing the program and stuff like that, to the point where I was ready to, pull the trigger and just do it.
Wow. Do you feel a sense of nervousness initially or anxiety when you decided to go full bore into digital to do that project?
No, not too much. I think I was ready for it. There was some things I had to overcome. Like I still have to, because Procreate, I can't create the frames in Procreate the way I want them. So I do all the drawings, and I'll import it into Photoshop, and then I'll create the panel borders in Photoshop.
Okay. Couple of different programs. Do you use the drawing tablet or do you use
iPad Pro?
Really?
Yep.
Do you use the Apple Stylus or a third party? Okay.
Apple Stylus, yeah, Apple Pencil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Statistical Zero, welcome. Statistical Zero says, I was just talking about Nolan too. Yet another person had no clue what Devil's Advocate was.
Oh, really? Wow.
Proof DC keeps dropping the ball.
Yeah, Devil's Advocate was one of my favorite projects I ever did for DC. It's like the ultimate Joker story. Did you ever hear the story of High Noon and Rio Bravo?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that John Wayne and I can't remember the director now. It wasn't Henry Hathaway, was it?
That part I don't remember. I don't remember moving that way.
Anyway, they hated High Noon. They felt it was un-American the way that everything played out. So they created Rio Bravo. There we go, Sunshine State. So Chuck and I hated the Killing Joke. Couldn't stand the ending. I thought it was so un-Batman. So we wrote Devil's Advocate as our Rio Bravo.
Ah, sweet. Yeah, I mean, if you don't like something that's out there, then make your own.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the way to sock it to them. I'm glad Sunshine State got mentioned. Nobody talks about it.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate that.
Is this I just glimpsed at it briefly. Is it exclusively a webcomic?
Yes. Yeah, it's syndicated on Go Comics.
Oh.
And it's also, I have a sunshinestate.com website.
Nice.
sunshinestatecomics.com, my bad.
How long have you been doing this strip?
About 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
If I could monetize this, if I could be like Charles Schultz and make millions of dollars doing a comic strip, I would do that.
Yeah, why don't you?
Because nobody can make $1 million doing a comic strip anymore.
Oh, come on. Well, maybe not so much through the traditional newspaper route, but what about through those treasuries like they did with the Garfield Treasury, Farside Treasury,
creating books. Yeah.
Do books.
Yeah. Well, that's actually on my docket. My Compass Comics publishing company, which did the Chenoo, and then I have another story coming out when the Chenoo's done. Actually, I got 2 more, and then I'm thinking of doing a hardcover collection of Sunshine State as the 4th installment under the publishing banner.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I absolutely should get it out in more hands, and they probably carry it at like public libraries too, which would get seen by more eyes.
Yep.
That would be sweet. I would definitely back that. I love comic strips.
I do too. I just a unique American art form.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did comic strips for a lot of years for King Features. I drew the Sunday Phantom, and I drew the Sunday and Daily Rex Morgan MD for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for 13 years.
I used to read all the I used to read all the funny papers for years, including which MD was it again?
Rex Morgan MD?
Yeah, that's the one. There was a point at which I was reading every single strip that was on the pages.
They've gotten so bad.
Yeah. It's like now everything is pared down, so there's only like 4 pages of funnies.
Yeah.
And the ones that are left are like cookie cutters.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like they put it in.
Yeah. There's all these legacy strips that, are still hanging around that have lost their mojo. and then a lot of the new stuff is so derivative, and there's not a lot of drawing skill in any of it. You know, it's like the NCS and the newspapers seem to celebrate mediocrity. You know.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's like what are they called? The new warriors, and those things that the big two are coming out with. It's not appealing to me, that's for sure.
Oh well, yeah. The big two are just, you know, they're circling the drain.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm loving the work on the Chenoo. Oh, let's play the trailer.
Yeah, play the video.
Good evening. Tonight's big story centers on the state of emergency declared this morning in Buffalo.
Between 4,000 and 5,000 cars said to be abandoned on city streets.
Buffalo is still very much a city under siege.
Faces wind whips the snow into 30-foot drifts.
Niagara Falls Air Base, one of their
Below tonight, 10 below zero. Get off the streets and highways as soon as possible.
Wow, that's cool.
That awesome trailer was done by Nick Grosh for me. He just nailed it.
I was thinking you were about to say, I did that. That's pretty cool. It was well done. Is your story, The Chenoo, literally based off of real, does it have some historical origins?
It does. The Chenoo, as a creature, comes from Native American lore. He was a man who scarred his soul, usually through cannibalism, and turned into this ice creature. And then he would come and eat the hearts of men in a failed attempt to reclaim the warmth that he could no longer have.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that was a really cool concept. And I was driving along Lake Erie one time. It was frozen, it was cold, and there was a storm coming in. It was very dark, and I thought that was that's very scary looking. And I thought that would be a great idea or location for a horror tale. And so I wanted to do some type of a snow or ice monster type thing. So I started doing some research, and that's when I found the Chenoo. And so I sort of adapted him and created my own mythology around it to fit my story needs, and created a story of a creature that came off the ice in 1977. And that was real footage, by the way. That was real footage from Buffalo television stations back in 1977 when the storm hit. And 23 people died during that storm. But in my world, not all of them died from the storm, because the Chenoo had come on land at that time. And now another storm is coming today in modern days, and the Chenoo is in it. And he traps a group of people in a house, and they're isolated as the snow builds up higher and higher. And the creatures surrounding the house and trying to feed on them. So it's like this really great claustrophobic tale of terror.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is back in reference to the big two. I call them zombie strip. They keep on moving, but there's no life in them left.
He's talking about the newspaper strips.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, zombie strips. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, literally no life.
Yeah. It's a good phrase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, we got another video? Let's see here.
That's a process video.
Step-by-step process of the creation of the main cover.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I love these things.
It's one of the cool things about Procreate is that it records every move into a video.
It does?
Yeah.
Dang.
So all I do is, import the video, and it just shows every single move I made.
Do you use a reference of an eagle claw for his hands?
Yeah, it's definitely a raptor claw of a bird.
Oh,
Wasn't sure if it was an eagle or not. I can't remember. I just referenced raptor claw, and that came up.
oh wow, neat.
There it is.
How did you get it to come up? Did you do like an application switcher?
No, you mean the reference piece?
Yeah.
Oh, I just imported it from my photos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it comes in as another layer, and then when it disappears, I just, I clicked off the layer.
Oh, wow. Such a cool idea. That is so freaking cool. Oh, man.
There
Wow.
it is.
That is so much fun. And then we got step-by-step process video of the variant cover.
This one's neat. It shows the thought process. I changed ideas midway. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't like that. What about this angle here? That's a cool panel, but not necessarily a cool cover. So I went with the original idea and blew it up more.
Out of curiosity, that's not the same kind of house design as the one from A Christmas Story, is it?
No, well, it could be architecturally the same because that was filmed in Ohio, so those Rust Belt towns share a lot of the same similar architectural styles.
Uh,
But that's actually a house in Buffalo.
okay. Do you sometimes go for drives looking for interesting stuff and then stop and take pictures?
Mm-hmm.
You could use them as reference later.
Yep.
Oh, that is a trip. I don't know why, but it never dawned on me to import a layer of an image and then draw over it. I just always pictured artists sitting down with rulers and measuring it out. And
Well, that's the old way we used to do it. Yeah, definitely. But this way is so much faster and easier. I don't need a ruler in Procreate because it has a snap to guide. So if I draw a line and then just hold it there, it snaps into a straight line. And it does the same thing for ovals and circles and curves and stuff. So I could go over a photograph like that and get the straight lines and perspective and all that kind of stuff proper.
when you're coloring the dark areas of the house, the siding and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
are you using like a fill tool?
No, on that I was just using the pen and coloring it in. There is a fill tool that I can use, but I didn't use it on that.
Man, that's so cool. Roughly how long does it take to make one of these, would you say?
There's a timer on the video. I can't see it on the screen here, but it
3 minutes, 10 seconds.
3 hours.
Oh, 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
I love these.
3 hours, 10 minutes.
I love these behind the scenes things. So is the layout page also a layer imported into the software?
The layout is drawn on a layer, and then it's discarded when it's done. Same thing with the pencils.
Huh.
That stuff just gets discarded.
Interesting. So that's what you use as a guideline to make sure your image is positioned properly.
Yeah, well, I have a template. So what I did is I scanned in an actual page, and I use that as a template. So I'll import the template in, then I'll sketch on it on the template on another layer. That'll be my sketch layer. Then I'll put another layer over that and do my pencil layer.
Ooh, neat.
And then I'll do my ink layer, and then I'll discard all the other layers, including the template underneath.
Now, does the Procreate software allow you to specify? I mean, do you? Let me see here. Hold on. Let me just catch up here. All right, strips. That's the cover I went for, plus that great poster. Sweet.
Oh, the variant, yeah. Well, if we hit the next stretch goal of, we just hit the 50,000 stretch goal, so the initial cover will have a foil stamp on it. The logo and the blood will be foil stamped. If we hit the 60,000, then we'll do the same thing with the variant cover. We'll get a foil stamp on that.
Wow, that's impressive. So cool. So what? Let me see if I can understand this. So you have that imported page as a guideline. Do you also have to use Procreate and go to like page setup and specify that the dimensions equate to 11 inches by, oh wait, is it, 11 inches by 17 inches?
No, because the template's already that size. The template is the same size as the original art. It's just, what I did is I took, one of my normal pages that if I was going to traditionally draw on, I scanned it in and labeled it as a template. So I just import it in, so as if I was drawing on the artboard. It's got all the ruling and lines on it and the crop marks and everything else too. Full size art, 11 by 17. Well, 10 by 15. 11 by 17 is the actual paper size.
That is sweet. And you want this comic. You want this one too.
Not subtle, but effective.
Yeah. I was looking at some of this work earlier, and I'm really digging it. It conveys the cold air, the snow coming down, the snow building up, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the atmosphere, the environment. And the blood.
Yeah, so that's what's cool is that this is black and white, gray tones, and the only color in it is whenever there's blood. So it's going to be very graphic, in its approach.
So the gray tones are like the front of the hat,
Mm-hmm.
The bridge of his nose.
Yeah, all that stuff. Anything that's not black is gray. And then the red color.
Now, when it comes to printing, does it mean it becomes more affordable because you're not dealing with every color in the rainbow?
It should. I mean, because we're only dealing with two colors.
Do they consider the grayscale or those specific areas of shading part of the black and white?
It should be because there is no other color in it. I made sure when I chose those grays, they're always on the black side, so there's no blues or anything else in there.
Gotcha. Nice. Oh, damn. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I love this. You left off here.
Yeah, that's one of the stretch goals was a bookmark that everybody gets. My wife really wanted that one too. She said she couldn't wait for that stretch goal to get hit because she really wanted one of these.
Is she an avid reader?
Yes.
Ah, nice. It is. this verbiage part of your original script?
No, it's just Greek type that I picked up from a book.
Oh, okay. All right. That is such a cool bookmark. Does it have anything on the backside?
No,
All right.
yeah. But the collectible trading card, has a front and back.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would have also been funny? Well, it might be more work than it is worth it. But can you see my mouse cursor?
Yeah.
If it had like a cutout here, so that, or an embossing so that the fingers kind of overlapped the top of the page. So this page portion was on the. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't really work, would it?
I know what you're saying, so that the fingers would actually overlap the real page that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You knew where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Collectible trading card.
Yeah, that's cool too, because I modeled that off of baseball cards. So on the back, I got stats, like, in the Blizzard of 77, how many were killed, how many were maimed, and I got all these different Blizzard years. And then I get up to 1994, and there's an asterisk year there because that was the strike year.
That's funny. Welcome, replicant. Just a few more decades of practice, and I'll be on your level, Graham.
Yeah, keep drawing.
Got Statistical has a duck out now. Great show, guys. Look forward to building my Compass Comics collection.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Guys.
Have a great day.
For sure. You have an awesome day. Only downside is having to pay full color printing for that little bit of red. But just cool.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is full color.
The book looks stunning. Yeah, that it does. I haven't taken a close look yet. Oh, shoot. How did I miss out on that? Dang it. I'm jumping ahead. You got the collectible trading card. Do you anticipate having more collector trading cards, like cards for all the guys who die?
No. I mean, if I suppose, we only got 3 days or 2 days left. So I don't think we're going to hit, too many more stretch goals. So.
Gotcha. Then you get the sticker. Nice.
I love that sticker. I mean, if this thing didn't even get funded, I was going to make that sticker because I want one of those.
Yeah. Are you going with the place like Sticker Mule?
Actually, no. I'm going to have them printed locally. There's the group, Ominous Press, Creation.Inc., who did my Monster Island books. Are right here in Buffalo, and they have a printing setup, so they're going to print my stickers and trading cards.
Oh, nice.
So they're doing my fulfillment too, so it'll all be on site, so I don't have to ship stuff. So that's going to be great.
That's going to work out well.
Yep, they're going to do the poster, the prints, that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh!
We're going to print the book too, but they can't now because there's going to be too many, and because we have to foil stamp them, so we're going to have to, price that out and farm it out.
Foil stamp them. Wow. All right.
Yeah, the 50,000 mark got hit, so now the main cover gets foil stamped.
My goodness. Oh my gosh. Our hero, Paul Jackson.
Yeah, he's a Buffalo cop. He's going to be the leader of the group.
Original art levels. Wow. Nice. Bane art.
Yeah, I don't sell my originals, and I definitely don't sell Bane art. But the few times that I do, they're quite expensive. So I put this one up, and I knocked 33% off of it for the campaign. But it's still expensive. It's still $10,000 for that piece.
Man. full-on action scene.
Yeah, I mean, he's in every panel. It's by his creators. It's a Chuck and me, and you have legendary Tom Palmer inking it. So it's like a trifecta there.
Yeah. Holy moly. Yeah, that's worth it.
Yeah, I think so.
Blue lines.
The times are tough, you know. I know, you know, some people are holding on to their dough and not spending it on art right now. But you know, if there is somebody out there that's, you know, it's a great opportunity can afford it. It's a great opportunity to get it at a reasonable price right now.
Yeah. Death Engine. Wow.
That one's sold already.
Oh, did it? Shifting ground. I always thought it was cool when you have these stills and they make all the lettering kind of fit into the environment.
Yeah.
That's neat stuff.
Thank you. That's from the Amazing Heroes magazine that used to publish back in the 80s and early 90s. Every year they had a swimsuit issue, and cartoonists would do, you know, comic characters in swimsuits. And
Yeah.
so at the time I was working on Power of the Atom, so that was my contribution. 1989.
Wow.
Years of that. That's what, 31 years?
My goodness. 89.
Right? 99, 2009, 19. Yeah, 31 years.
Woo, boy. Is the book considered fully completed and just ready for print?
No. I've started on it. I've got the first 5 pages that you saw up there completed, and then once the campaign is done, then I'll knuckle down and get going on it.
Yeah, the foil stamp is unlocked. Next goal is the cover foil, the variant cover foil stamp.
Right.
60K. All right, let's hit that goal for sure. Shipping to be determined.
Well, I put this was a newbie mistake that I made. I put that in there, and then when it came to filling out the perks and all that kind of stuff,
Uh-huh.
I left the shipping blank because, you know, I didn't know, you know, where it was going to be shipped to, what the weight was going to be, depending on what levels they got, all that kind of stuff. So that's why I said to be determined. But what I found out was that if you leave it blank in Indiegogo, then that means there's no shipping charge.
Ooh.
So I had a bunch of people, you know, in the beginning just getting the books. And then somebody texted me, says, "Did you mean to have no shipping? Because that's very generous." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, no, I did not mean to do that." So, you know, I apologized and told everybody that that's on me. I'm going to eat that. And that, you know, I adjusted. I had to go back to every perk and add the shipping into it and everything. But I had a perk tier for people that maybe want to support the arts but aren't into comics or into horror. It's called Buy Graham a Beer.
Yeah.
So you just passed it. Here, scroll down a little bit more. A little more. There you go. Click on that and open it up and read what it says.
So maybe you aren't into comics or horror, but you think Graham is a swell guy and want to support the campaign. Then buy him a beer because God knows he needs one. Included items support.
20 of them. I got 20 beers.
Yeah, 20 beers. Rock on.
Yeah.
Don't drink them all at once, though.
Yeah, I should do a YouTube thing of me drinking all the beers.
You should.
Oh, man, that'd be a wreck.
You definitely should. Oh, my gosh. Oh, what a trip. Replicants is neat. Andino Caligula Palacio, welcome. says 31 years ago I was 10.
Ah, then you would have loved that little sexy pinup at 10 years old.
Yeah. And Dina says collecting Batman Detective. Pop Culture Minefield says it's very exciting how the campaign is doing. Oh, free shipping! Yay! Oh my gosh! At least they allowed you to make the corrections in campaign from your end.
Yeah, what I had to do was I had to cancel those perks and recreate them with the shipping in it, you know.
Yeah, there are some of the smaller campaigns that actually intentionally decided to, uh, you know, take the hit on the shipping and include it as part of the cost, and they
Right.
weren't even asking all that much to begin with. So it's like, whoa, are you sure you're gonna be able to do this?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff can go a media mail, but certainly stuff that goes overseas. And then there's levels there with hardcover books in it. You know, those things are going to be heavy. So, and depending on where you're going, if you're going to the West Coast, it's going to be more expensive than if I was going to Ohio. If I got to go to Canada, you know, and there's so many things to determine. I have to figure out, or Indiegogo's got to figure out a better way to determine the shipping. It
Yeah,
could be me that I don't know how to work that yet. But I've talked to some of the other guys. I think Art T. Bear, it was either Art or Dan Fraga that
or
was
at a
a
post.
similar problem. You know, trying to determine the shipping. You know, so you just kind of have to average it, and then you know some you're going to take a hit on, some you're not, and it'll balance out. You know.
Out of curiosity, does it give you tools on the back end in Indiegogo to give you an idea how many backers in your campaign are in the U.S., how many are in Australia, how many are in the UK?
Oh yeah, there's campaign insights, perk reports, item reports, all that stuff is on the left hand side that I can access at any time.
Yeah, but of course, this is after the backings start coming in. You don't know up front how much to expect for shipping.
No, like I said, because it depends on where it's going and how much it's going to weigh.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what the size of it is too. You know, some things like there's people in the victim level where they're going to get a high grade print of the page that they appeared on where they got killed. So that can't be folded like the poster. So that means the box has got to be, you know, it's got to fit in 11 by 17 and packed so that it's neat and stuff like that. So that's going to be an expensive one to ship.
yep, for sure. Yeah, I'm finding that when I just got into the whole Comicsgate thing around, I want to say September, October of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly I found myself starting to back projects that I was really into.
Mm-hmm.
And now I back a lot of projects now. But I believe in these creators, and I want them to succeed and
Mm-hmm.
Fulfill and prove the mainstream wrong. Excuse me.
Yeah. Me too. You know, the thing though that I want to avoid and that I want to establish right from the get-go is reliability.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've backed a lot of projects that I've forgotten about because they haven't shown up and because I'm not updated on it, you know. Like I'll get an update once in a while and I'll be like, oh, that's right, I backed that. But the previous update was like 2-3 months ago.
Right.
Well, on mine, as I've told all my backers, I update every week.
Nice.
So they know exactly where I am in the process. And when I'm done with my end of the drawing, and then I'll let them know where it is on the lettering side, where in the pre-production side, and you know, I'll post images, and I'm going to post, the printing images and stuff like that. And, so they will always know where we are. And if it runs a little bit late because we ended up hitting a stretch goal that adds more story content, so I have to do another 8-page story for it. So if I run a little bit behind as a result of that, they'll know about that ahead of time, but they'll still know that everything else is done and ready to roll. And that's the important thing for me, is to reach out and make sure they're always in the loop.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really important. I have a tendency to do the same thing. I lose track of what I backed, and the way that, there's a way for you to take a look in Indiegogo and see what campaigns you backed,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of cumbersome. I think it's too clunky because you can only see like a group of 5 at a time or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So you have to scroll through page after page after page to try and find the one you're trying to follow up on.
Right.
And see, all right, did this one come in yet? Did this one come in yet? And so on and so forth. Or if I simply wanted to remind myself, if I backed a certain project before I consider backing a second time,
Mm-hmm.
let's see what I backed, what kind of tier I backed on last time, and see what's changed in the campaign, and whether I want to get these extra goodies over here in this other tier. Yeah, Pop Culture Minefield says, glad you got the shipping fixed. It can really cut into you depending on where they order from. Yep. And excuse me. So is this officially your first campaign, your first Indiegogo campaign?
It is.
Prior to this, did you do anything on Kickstarter?
Yeah. Well, I didn't do it, but my Monster Island books were done on Kickstarter. But Ominous Press handled the running of the Kickstarter campaign. This is the first one that I've taken the reins on, that I'm handling and doing all the promotion for, doing everything.
Now, what prompted you to choose Indiegogo?
Well, I did my homework. I did some research about the pluses and minuses of both of them. And also I talked to other creators that I know that have used both. I didn't feel that Kickstarter, because I had a couple projects run on Kickstarter, was as good as it should have been. And so I wanted to look into Indiegogo, and it seems that Indiegogo is more conservative friendly. I kept reading about people that were getting shut down on Kickstarter because of their views or their politics, and like they'd raised all this money and all of a sudden, bam, they got shut down. And I didn't want that to happen, so that's another reason I chose Indiegogo.
Yep. Absolutely true. And so you opted for a fixed goal of 15,000.
Mm-hmm.
Did you design this not only based on how much shipping would probably cost and the time you were going to invest in your own, time and energy to put it together, but also based it off of your performance on Kickstarter with your other project?
The $15,000 number was strictly what I could do it for if I had to pay myself, because my time, I'm going to take, how many months to do this thing. If I paid myself just even a independent rate, not even near, like a Marvel or DC rate, which, by the way, suck anyway, but independent rate wasn't that great either. But it was a bare minimum that I could squeak by and keep the lights on. It didn't include shipping. I did add like 1,000, I think $1,000 in there for printing, because at 15,000, I knew the numbers weren't going to be that high. So that would be the bare minimum I could do this thing for, and I'd still probably lose some money. And Ethan had said to me, I'm going to have a hard time hitting that 15,000. And I ended up hitting it in like 8 to 10 days, something like that.
Whoa.
But Ethan's not a criticism, but his advice is right, because had I set that lower, it would have hit sooner. And then the algorithms on Indiegogo realize that, and they have this thing marked as a successful campaign earlier. So now, it's going to be seen and promoted through Indiegogo. And you'd be surprised when I look at the statistics that the Indiegogo campaign, sends me, that's on my side sheet there. Most of the purchases and stuff come through them. It come through people that discover it from them. I'm shocked at how little Facebook people are supporting the campaign, or Twitter for that matter.
Right. Yeah, I had not admit. Well, yeah, I guess it makes sense for Indiegogo to be the biggest source. Like, if you get directed to Indiegogo in the first place, then I think a lot of people will have a tendency to browse around and see what else is on there after they finish backing something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And there's suggestions too. So like if they backed a comic, that might have been similar or in the same genre, maybe mine would come up and they'd be like, okay, look at this.
Yes, exactly.
But because mine did hit relatively quick, I've been in the featured section the entire time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Yeah, that's really important too.
Yeah, it really is. I just looked at it today, and the first one on there was Ethan's, because he had just hit $1 million on his campaign.
Yep.
Then the second one was somebody else. The third one was Dan Fraga, and the fourth one was me.
Nice. Yeah, I think I saw that screenshot too.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That's impressive. That is so cool. Let's see here. Yeah, for the first time doing an Indiegogo, that is rocking. That's really, really an achievement. Let me see here. So it's in funding stage. Is this about to close on 30 days funding, or are you on a second?
This is about to close on 45 days funding.
45 days?
Yeah. I added 15 days to it before it closed at 30. Because again, I did some research, and according to Indiegogo, the sweet spot for projects is 30 to 40 days.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yep. Because people get tired of your constant pimping. And you get tired of it too. You start to run out of gas and everything. And so you want to get people excited early, and then you get them excited at the end. But I guess that's the sweet spot statistically for them. So that's what I did. I added the extra 15 days, and it was worth it because it got me over that 50,000 mark. Because I think I was at 44, 45, something like that. So it got me over the 50, and I'm excited about that. Still got 2 days left. If we can get 55, 60, that'd be awesome.
Oh man, it would be. I hear about some creators doing the first 30, then they reset it for another 30 in funding, or they set it for the original 30 and then they go to in demand. But I hadn't really heard many people actually extend it for just 15 days or so. So that's interesting, going based off the algorithm or the tracking from Indiegogo.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. After this concludes after 2 days, do you anticipate going to in demand?
Oh yeah, it's definitely going into demand.
All right, cool.
I had that set up in the beginning, so.
Nice. Yeah, that you're gonna get a lot of extra income that way.
Well, particularly once the book starts getting made and stuff, and people start photographing it and being with it and stuff, I think it'll really hit.
Yeah, you'll get another spike.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cool. And let's see here. So Let's check out the intro movie again.
Good evening. Tonight's big story centers on the state of emergency declared this morning in Buffalo.
Between 4,000 and 5,000 cars said to be abandoned on city streets.
Buffalo is still very much a city under siege.
Faces wind whips the snow into 30-foot drifts.
Falls Air Base, one of their
The low tonight, 10 below zero. Get off the streets and highways as soon as possible.
Dang. 35 plus year industry veteran.
Yeah, 37 actually.
37 now.
7.
What is, can you think of a moment in time that was either the most influential or the most meaningful to you in your entire career?
Gosh, that's a good question. It's a hard question. I can't right now. I can't off the cuff. Can't think back that far.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the most surprising one was.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
We were, Chuck and I and Kelly Jones were flown out to Comic-Con in 2016. And neither Chuck or I have been to Comic-Con since probably 1997.
Uh-huh.
But they wanted us there as special guests and paid for it and brought us out and everything. I was like, okay. Took my daughter with me and stuff like that. But what we didn't know was that they were presenting the Inkpot Awards to us.
Really?
Yeah. So, we were on a panel, because neither of us decided we were going to go to the award ceremony because we didn't know we were getting an award. They were keeping it a secret. And then so Denny O'Neil, before the panel went on, introduced us and presented us with the Inkpots. And that was we were all looking at each other. None of us knew. And it was very exciting and humbling,
That is so cool. What is the, I guess, this isn't the right term, I know, but what is like the prerequisites to earning an Inkpot?
It's like a American Film Institute award. It's something that they give you for your contributions to the art form. So it's not like an Eisner where you're getting the award for a specific thing. It's the award that they give you for the entirety. That you've contributed something to the art form of comics.
Aha. So is it like made of gold or something, or is it gold plated? Or
I don't know what. It's metal of some type, and it is plated and shiny, and it's gorgeous piece of statuary.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Heavy. Yeah. I've looked. They have a list. If you do Inkpot Awards, take you to San Diego Comic-Con, and it'll list it by year. Who received them, and it's Will Eisner, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And
wow.
Just to be included with all those guys, it just was surprising and humbling.
No, for sure. I can only imagine. So checking out the perks, we got the Ultimate Monster Collection.
Yeah, I just put that one up today because I got a hold of more hardcovers through the press.
Geez, the Chenoo signed,
Mm-hmm.
Chenoo character sticker, Monster Island hardcover book, Return to Monster Island hardcover. So did you have a stockpile of them and then you realize, or Like, did you have like some that you originally intended to devote to a personal collection?
No, Ominous Press, who handled the Kickstarter, also handled the publishing, so they had some. So I contacted them since they're handling my fulfillment. I said, "You guys got any books left?" And they told me they had like 8 copies left of Return to Monster Island. So I created a collection, the Ultimate Graham Nolan collection, which included, there was 8 copies, so you could only 8 people get them. Included the Chenoo, Monster Island, Return to Monster Island, and the Black Book, The Art of Graham Nolan, which is a collection of my work for the last 37 years. And so those sold out. But then they contacted me and said, "Hey, we found some in a warehouse. We got more. We got another 90 copies." So I was able to create a couple more collections.
Oh my gosh.
So there is another Ultimate Graham Nolan collection that has all those books. That one sold out, and there's another one that's the Ultimate. Keep scrolling.
Wait, there is another Ultimate Graham Nolan?
There is.
What?
Right there. There we go.
Holy crap.
Yep.
So you got 20 more of this.
Yep.
Wait, so Ultimate Nolan Collection 2, is that the same as the first Ultimate
Yes.
Nolan Collection?
Yeah.
All right.
It's just that you can't add on to it. You have to create a new perk for it. So
All right.
label it as number 2.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear that it's not a set of 3 new different hardcovers.
No.
All right. Cool.
No, if you click on it, it explains it.
Yeah. Do that in a sec. So we got 3 hardcover plus the Chenoo comic book.
Mm-hmm.
3 hardcovers plus the Chenoo comic book. 2 side hardcovers plus the Chenoo comic. So
this is the same as the Ultimate Graham Nolan one, but it doesn't have the art book.
all right, that's what's different.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is the art book?
The Black Book.
Oh, okay. All right. The black book is the art book. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. There it is. Oh shoot! What the hell? What to choose? Oh no! All right. So we get the Ultimate Monster Collection 175. You get the Chenoo sign. You get the character sticker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait a minute. Does the Graham Nolan Collection also have a sticker?
Yes.
All right, cool. Monster Island hardcover book and Return to Monster Island hardcover. How many pages are these things?
The Monster Island and Return to Monster Island are 96 pages, and the Black Book is 112.
Wow. Oh my gosh. All right, then we've got the cool sticker. Oh, you get a 5-pack. Nice.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted more stickers, so I created that 5-pack so that they could, just buy the stickers themselves if they wanted to,
Cool. And then this bears repeating. Buy Graham a beer. So maybe you aren't into comics or horror, but you think Graham is a swell guy and want to support the campaign. Then buy him a beer because God knows he needs one. Included items support. 20 claimed. That's cool. That's a beautiful image too.
It's a Blue Moon beer.
Oh man. Oh yeah, Blue Moon. All right, cool.
Sitting there with a palm tree behind it.
Yeah. Nice. All right, so you got the Chenoo, the book itself, signed with the sticker for 25.
Yeah, that's your base. That's your base, level. But because all of those perks were hit, everybody's name is listed in the comic.
Oh my gosh!
Everybody gets the sticker. They get the trading card. They get the bookmark. It's not 48 pages now. It's 56 pages of story. and the cover is now foil stamped, all for $25.
Did you already have, when you wrote the story, did you already have 56 pages worth in mind, and then set it up so that you could lop off a chunk of it?
No, what I did was I designed it for 48 pages, and then when I decided I was going to add pages, I'm adding a separate story.
Oh,
It's an 8-page story that takes place in 1977.
oh, ah, cool.
And I'll tell you this, the ending of that story is not only terrifying, but heartbreaking.
Oh,
I showed it to my wife. She goes, "You're not going to do that, are you?" I said, "Yes, I am."
uh-oh, uh-oh. Dare I ask, do you anticipate having a sequel, Chenoo 2?
No.
All right.
No, what I want to do with Compass Comics is tell unique stories, stories that don't necessarily have to have sequels or follow-ups.
Yep.
That's not to say I won't do something that could be serialized. That could run 2 or 3 issues, or would lend itself to a sequel. But I think certain stories are better as standalones, so that the magic that it might elicit in you, the memory that it'll elicit in you, will always stay there the way it was, and it won't get watered down by attempts to recapture the lightning in the bottle.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. So my next one after this is also going to be a standalone.
Oh,
And then my third one after that, it's possibility it might be a small miniseries.
cool, cool. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the difference between a short story versus, an anthology.
Mm-hmm.
So then we've got, let's see here. That is a signed Chenoo, as well as a character sticker.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the variant cover book
Mm-hmm.
with, does it have the? All right, yep, it's got the sticker too.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got the signed comic book level 2. Let me see. That comes with the Chenoo. Oh, okay. So you get the Chenoo sign. You get a character sticker plus a poster.
Mm-hmm.
How big is the poster?
The poster, I think it's I'm not sure. It'll fold down so that it'll fit into a comic bag.
Aha. All right.
I got to measure that size.
So then we've got signed comic book level 3. That gives you the signed book of the Chenoo, which is the first book. Yeah, the main. You get the character sticker, you get the poster, the fold-up poster, and a head sketch remarque. Is it?
Remark.
Yeah. So how does a head sketch remark differ from other types of head sketches, or is it like a head sketch drawn on a square piece of card versus a rectangular?
No, it's traditionally in the art world, a remark is a drawing done by the artist, like on prints. But in comics, it's just a quick sketch, that type of thing. It's not a finished drawing or anything like that. So on the inside front cover, where the credits are, there's going to be a white box left empty, and that's there for the remark. Nice.
How do you intend on drawing those in? Are you going to use a Sharpie? Or,
Yeah, I'll use a Sharpie, something that won't ruin the paper or anything. Or a Pitt pen, something like that.
Yeah. I don't remember all the particulars, but I've heard on and off that Sharpies deteriorate over time. But I'm not sure what the conditions are that.
Well, it would have to be light that would destroy it. And since this is on the inside cover, it wouldn't affect it.
Oh, good point. Yeah. And then we've got, let me see. Yeah, that was level 3. Then we've got retail levels.
Yeah, I want to support the local comic shops and give them an opportunity to carry the books. So I created discounts for them for, bulk purchases, 5 or 10 copies.
Already 2 of them claimed. Nice.
I'm surprised more retailers haven't jumped on board, to be honest. I thought that kind of a display would get them more interested.
Now, I was talking to another creator previously, and about retailers carrying products, and I was wondering, do you think with today's comic shops that they would have maybe the real estate space on their floor to warrant or carry like a standee that has nothing but your book on it?
I'm sure certain stores would, yeah.
Because it would be kind of cool to have a standee of the Chenoo kind of looking down on the collection of books that are in the shelf.
Well, that would be an expensive expenditure to do just for one book, since it's not a monthly book,
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Now, if it was a Compass Comics one that they could display all of my future projects, well, that'd be another story.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay. Absolutely. The Chenoo signed at that.
Right.
5 copies. Nice. So that comes out to 20 each, and they're signed. Dang. Do you think maybe some consumers are actually going to take advantage of the retail level boxes to buy in bulk?
They haven't. As is indicated by only 1 got done there and 2 in the other. So
retail level 2. So you get the Chenoo 10 copies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you could either get a batch of 10 or a batch of 5.
Right. 20% or 25%.
A happy hour Skype call. Interesting. A 1-hour Skype call with Graham and your favorite beverage to talk about whatever you want. Comics, movies, sports, fishing, politics, nothing's off limits. It's simply a conversation one might have in a pub with a friend, because that's what we are. We will set up a time and date that is convenient after the campaign is funded. 1-hour Skype conversation. So far, 1 of 10 claimed.
Actually, 2 have been claimed. 1 was in an add-on, so it doesn't show up there.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's available as an add-on.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Pop
Most
culture.
of the stuff is available as an add-on. That's what's cool about Indiegogo, is you can add that stuff on.
Most or everything is available.
Everything is available, but not everything at one time. It depends. Like some things I don't think match up well as an add-on, so they're not included in certain things.
Okay. I meant to read this earlier. Pop Culture Minefield says, "I love you did it in black and white."
Cool. Yeah, I wanted it to feel like a black and white horror film,
Yeah, I think you've achieved that. It looks like it pops. It has a lot of impact in black and white.
Right.
All right, so this is the Ultimate Graham Nolan collection. 3 hardcovers, plus the Chenoo comic book. Chenoo signed, Chenoo character sticker, Monster Island hardcover book, Return of Monster Island hardcover book, the Black Book, The Art of Graham Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Man, looks back on your 37-year career in comics, with much of the art shot from the originals. Nice.
Yeah, so it's not like the printed look where you're going to see the blue lines. You can see some pencil marks. You can see notations and stuff. So it's really cool.
Did it take long for you to collect all that stuff?
It did. I had to gather it up and I had to scan it. It took me quite a few weekends.
So did you actually have all of the stuff already at your place? It was just a matter of finding and scanning it?
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. All right. So we've got original art. Wait, hold on. Oh, did you already sell original art level 1? Oh, wait, hold on. How does this work?
Let's see.
Sketch level. Original art level 6 and original art level 3 sold out.
Right.
Victim level. Out of curiosity, was the victim level where someone got to be drawn in as having been killed by the Chenoo?
Yeah, the pages that are posted, those first 5 pages, are the deaths of both the victims. Yeah, they're both they're a father and son
Oh,
from Buffalo.
oh, damn! What a perfect match.
Yeah, and the son, the first guy who gets killed on the ice there, he was actually born during the blizzard of '77.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so that is really cool.
Damn, that is funny. Oh man, how cool is that? Okay, let's see, where was I? We did that. Oh, we were looking at original art. Okay. So
Right.
original art level 2. So it's a pinup. As you mentioned, you don't sell your original art.
Mm-hmm.
So is it more for the reason of keeping it in the family for generations to come?
No, it was more about selling it early on and finding out that I undersold it. Like I'd sell covers, way back in the day, or splash pages from like key books for $200, and then I'd see them up at Heritage for like $3,000.
Oh, dang.
And I'm like, oh shit, I shouldn't have sold that stuff. So I stopped selling it and tried to, hold on to as many key pages as I could.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you've seen them, but have you ever considered taking some of your pieces and participating in one of Ethan Van Sciver's art auctions?
I hadn't never even heard of him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he's what? I guess he's a 27-year veteran in comics. He worked for DC.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I know who Ethan is.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right.
I mean, I never heard of his art auctions.
Yeah, he does his auctions maybe once a quarter, I think.
Okay.
You got some creators on YouTube who do stream art auctions like every week.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in agreement with Ethan where it's one of those things where you want to build up anticipation, and not everyone's going to have money to participate every single week.
Right.
So he seems to do like once a quarter, and several people come onto the stream and they sell work, and if there's a lot of people who are selling work, then they'll switch out guests, because Stream Nerds caps you out at like 6 guests.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're pretty exciting. I like his auctions. Let's see. So we got that. Yeah, I mean, your stuff would go for pretty high. And original, all right, that was an original art pinup.
Mm-hmm.
It's from the 1989 series, 1989 Amazing Heroes swimsuit issue. Features Adam and his girlfriend, Enrica Negrini.
Mm-hmm.
11 by 17 pen and ink on Bristol. Nice. Art level, original art level, signed 48-page comic book, signed by creator. Character sticker, poster, head sketch, and original art. All right, so the head sketch remark of the Chenoo inside the front cover.
Mm-hmm.
The original art is going to be 8.5 by 11 signed marker drawing. The very first drawing of the Chenoo ever done. Whoa.
Yeah, that's the concept drawing.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I'm surprised that hasn't sold, to be honest with you, for all the stuff you're getting in there. And if this thing ever really takes off and becomes, say, a Netflix movie or a a big budget film, that's the first illustration of the character. I mean, I'm just surprised that hasn't sold.
I'm sure it will. I think people are going to be kicking themselves later. Just like I'm kicking myself for missing out on some of these tiers. I can't believe I didn't hear about it sooner. But at least I know about it now.
Yeah.
All right, so we got original art level 4. All right, so splash page from Detective Comics 713, issue 713, from 1997. Features large figures of Batman and the villain Gearhead. Second appearance, locked in battle. 11 by 17, pen and ink on bristle. Whoa. Original art level 5. Okay. Original cover art to Hawk World Annual number 2, 1991. Featuring the main characters of Hawkman and Hawkwoman. Yeah, I thought it was 11 by 17 pen and ink on bristle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Bane original art. Yeah. Yeah, someone's going to buy this. Bane done by its creator. An action page. Page 10 from the Bane of the Demon miniseries, 1998 by Chuck Dixon, Graham Nolan, and Tom Palmer.
That's a superstar lineup right there.
Yeah, darn straight. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. Out of curiosity, how did you learn to draw? I mean, are you self-taught?
I self-taught until I went to the Kubert School.
Okay, all right. And then they told you all, helped you build your foundation with all the basics.
Yeah, that and the concentrated on the storytelling too. That's the real key.
Yeah. Did they have, was part of your curriculum exclusively discussing story?
Mm-hmm. Visual storytelling, yeah.
All right. And then, of course, all these multiple tiers are all sold out already.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. That's good, though. That's very good. All right. Let me see here. The decapitated head from the victim tier.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm no auction master. I just happened to run across one of Dan Frega's streams, and he was auctioning off some of his original artwork from Masters of the Multiverse.
Okay.
And Masters of the Universe was my jam.
Oh.
I grew up on 80s cartoons. Thundercats, Transformers, Macross, Star Blazers, G.I. Joe, Transformers. And Thundercats was one of the big ones. And I was like mesmerized. So I had to pick up some pieces.
My first job at Marvel was an issue of the Transformers.
Nice. Nice. You'd have heard of Yeah, you're probably right. the thing about Comicsgate and everything is, ever since half a year ago, it seems like things have steadily skyrocketed. Like there's suddenly all kinds of new creators coming out, a lot of YouTube channels coming out to help promote them, and there's like this surge of talent coming from Comicsgate, and it's freaking amazing. I just love it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think, you know, we all have a passion for great comics, and we're getting tired of being lectured to.
Yeah, for sure. And along with it, though, is you know, if you end up becoming a YouTube streamer, to a certain degree, it's like you're competing for viewers because there's so many people now streaming, and so most of my views come in replays,
Okay.
which I don't particularly mind, as long as people see the content and enjoy it and learn something from it, then that's fine by me. So yeah, and if it leads to them backing a book, all the power to them.
Yeah. So you hear that, folks? Back to Chenoo.
Yeah,
Watch this in replay.
back it now.
I need my boat.
Yeah. Let's get Graham his boat. The new boat tier.
New boat tier. That's what I need.
So you'll not only have 20 beers or more, but you'll also have a boat to drink them on.
That's right. That's right.
It all comes together.
It's my grand plan.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go ahead and play the Chenoo trailer once more.
Okay. I'm going to have to roll after that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Good evening. Tonight's big story centers on the state of emergency declared this morning in Buffalo.
Between 4,000 and 5,000 cars said to be abandoned on city streets.
Buffalo is still very much a city under siege.
Space's wind whips the snow into 30-foot drifts.
Air Base, one of those.
Below tonight, 10 below zero. Get off the streets and highways as soon as possible.
I never get tired of watching.
That's such a cool trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what a great project. What a great project.
Well, thank you so much for sharing it with all your viewers and for having me on to talk about it. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, for sure. It's an honor. It's an honor to have you on here, Graham. I greatly appreciate it. Would you mind sharing with the audience how everyone can find you on social media?
Well, I'm on Twitter all the time. I'm on Facebook, and GrahamNolan.com is my website.
Right on. Right on. You can find me on Twitter at Wise Guys Tweets, on Twitch under Wise Guys Twitches, and YouTube under Wise Guys Entertainment. Go ahead. I'm sorry?
I just said awesome.
Oh, all right.
Great.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. And back the Chenoo from Graham Nolan. And Rancid Potato says, see you later, man.
So long, Rancid Potato.
What a name.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And ending broadcast in 3,